I
Absolutely.
grew up very religious and also very traumatized. Horrible upbringing. But God was forced on me. Was abused sexually, mentally, physically, in every way possible. But I was religious. You could not take that away from me.
Sure.
However, I also had a shitty ass upbringing. So you were the opposite. You had no God in your life as a child. You weren't forced upon those beliefs. You came into it as you're older. Because of your trauma, I was traumatized my whole life. Where was God saving me when I was getting raped? You know what I'm saying?
But that's not God.
Well, is it?
That's not God.
I was a full
Yo,
believer.
that's the evil in people using
I was
God.
a full believer my whole life. My whole childhood. Who was there to save me?
But God doesn't save.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this.
He doesn't.
And I was a full believer, but I didn't have that. Oh, thank God he saved me from a parking spot. I didn't have that. I didn't have that from him. So
Okay.
shall I now blame him for allowing me to be sexually, physically, mentally abused?
You
Should I
think
blame
God?
him for allowing those people in my life when I was giving him my full love, my full attention, my full every single piece of me? He had me. I was in church. I was praying. I was everything. I was the person I should be to the fullest extent. Yet what did I get from that? I had to take myself and pick myself up off the pavement. He did not, because when I was still a full believer, I got shit. Therefore, I am not in the same position you are. You got that aha, I got the aha. Who's there for me but me? So it's a different circumstance. Your trauma was when you were older. My trauma was my whole life.
Okay. I'm not trying to convert you, by the way.
No, I'm not competing.
I'm not
with you,
trying
but
to convert
saying
you.
That you have to look at it from a different views.
Oh no, and I appreciate your
was a
perspective.
Full believer, and therefore no one.
Crystal, I love that. I love.
I'm
Yeah,
just
this is
saying,
that's what this is all
there are-
about.
I love this.
This is great perspective.
One's viewpoint is the solid 100% truth, because I was there.
Agreed.
I was. We're besties. You are my man. You are my savior. I'm going to church. I'm getting all of my siblings. We are all going to church. I'm wrangling us up. We are dressed in our Sunday best. What was I getting in return? Nothing.
This is
Nothing but trauma.
So what I'm very sorry that you went through that. Like honestly, like I'm very sorry that you went through that, and that's terrible. But what did that come from? Was it a man?
No.
Was it a woman?
It was all of the above.
Well, I'm saying,
in my life.
so women and men have caused you trauma.
But
Yeah.
see, that's what I'm saying. Like we try to blame it on the outside. We try to blame it on, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. But we bring it back to, oh, God is our savior. But is that right?
Well, it's
Is
really,
that
but
right?
it's really us though. It's our choices.
It's our
Like
choices.
it's our choices.
So
you
chose
can
to be-
activate.
To be sexually, physically.
Yeah.
No.
you
I
chose
did not say that.
From the
I did not
savior
say that.
perspective, it's
I did
our-
not say that.
It's our choice to do better and be saved.
Devil
And
or God, because those are your
Right.
only two options.
Right.
I'm not saying that you had the choice. I'm
So-
saying that the
so
person
which
who
was
the
it?
person that
It's so like.
I'm saying the person that did those the person that did those things to you, he had a choice or she had a choice, and so that's what it goes back to. So whoever did that to you, they didn't activate the godly side of
What
them.
happened
They didn't
to
have that
the,
activated.
The
God will protect me.
yes,
I wasn't
exactly.
protected.
The protection. Where was
18
that?
What's that, D? What's that, D?
I said they'll get what's coming to them. It's not our place to want karma for them. Karma's
Yes.
going to come back to them.
But that's why he teaches forgiveness. And first of all, when you forgive, it's not just about forgiving the other person. It's about forgiving yourself as well. Because what I'm sensing right now is we have a lot of brokenness right here, and it's so what happens is we create more brokenness if we don't decide to heal. But if you decide to heal, and I'm trying to say if you get the right teachings, you can get healed. Like you can be healed.
I fully believe.
And then you can produce more healing.
God
Right, and
is your
I-
excuse to heal, though.
I don't think anyone's saying that God is all protecting and all saving. I mean, there are kids in Ukraine right now who would disagree, right? There have been
probably still praying.
millions and billions of children and men and women who have died in atrocities, right? Who have not been protected by God. David's not saying that God's going to save everyone from all of their problems, right? But there are certain circumstances
Isn't
where
I
isn't
think
that
if
you're a believer-
idealism, though.
if you're a believer,
Yes.
God will present himself and present you with an option. You know, you can continue down the path you're going, or you can choose to believe and do better, right? And so,
Can you choose that
believe-
as a
I
human
believe-
being, or is that just idealism in Christianity?
so you mean if you're not religious, can you still have those moments? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you as a human being, you have free will. You can make choices to do better. Right. So I see what you're saying. You're saying maybe it's not so much God who's doing it. Maybe it's free will. Maybe it's your choice to do better rather than continue down the path of brokenness or the path, the dark path that you were down at that moment. Right. It's such a hard question to answer. Is it?
Because we don't have proof.
It's like The Secret.
Because we don't have proof.
It's The Secret.
I think
You
there's a
manifest
higher power,
what you
Yes.
believe in
and
for
it's
yourself.
what you choose to believe,
Right.
in my opinion.
But I think it all, like, what my main point is, it all ultimately comes back to choice, man's choice.
Definitely a
You know, so I believe that the more that us men make better choices, the more we create heaven on earth. You know, because it really comes down to us. Like if we're making great choices, our women are making great choices because we're the leaders. But we haven't been leading. We haven't been leading correctly. So now we're getting a lot of our leaders. This is why there's a rise in women leadership.
So
right now.
when you say we haven't been leading, you're saying men.
yeah,
Men haven't been.
yeah, I'm calling myself out.
Okay.
I'm calling myself out.
I would
bro.
agree
I
with
was not
that.
a great leader for a long time.
Sure.
And I told you the story.
We did talk
Yeah,
about
I told
that
you the
today.
story, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was like, man, you know, I was a terrible leader, man. I thought I was leading people, but I was not. Where was I leading them?
What do you think about polygamy? Let me just throw that in. I've been
That's a whole nother topic, brother.
Good topic.
I mean, there is Muslims who have multiple wives.
Yeah, they.
Why can't we all?
Why can't we all?
Because somewhere in the
Well, there's a
Quran,
different. So
Because you will die.
that's a religious
Yeah,
perspective.
that's religious.
So as a non-religious man, what would be your reasoning for polygamy? So they have, as a Muslim, you have the religion on your side that says polygamy is okay.
personally?
As a non-religious man, why would you want to be polygamous? And what justifies your
For the
polygamy?
benefits.
So remember when I said no? Remember when I said earlier? Remember when I said earlier that find a woman that makes your life easier.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
having two women. That
Find a
make your
woman
life
that
easier.
makes the woman's life easier.
Well,
You can have your
That's how I
reason.
see
here's the thing: in true polygamy, it's not about you, Crystal. It's always about him.
not.
So he's got two wives, you have one husband.
I think it
In
can
true
be about
polygamy.
all of
I
them.
think it's
She's
more
wife
about
number one, so
6
she has
wives,
more.
right?
I
Aren't
think-
there more like 5 or 6?
I
Well,
can't
that's
afford
that's
five or six. You may be able
polyamory.
to
That's
take
different.
another one.
Polyamory and polygamy are two different things.
One more part-time.
Okay.
wife.
Educate me.
Well, polyamory is everybody's in love with everybody. We do all kinds of stuff together. You know, if you're with a polyamorous relationship with 2 men and 2 women, you have two men and a girlfriend. You have 2 boyfriends and a girlfriend. Whereas with polygamy, the man has multiple wives and that's it. The women do not have multiple wives. The women have one husband, whereas the man has multiple wives. That's the difference. So polyamory, everybody's in love with everybody. Polygamy is one man, multiple women.
In what scenario could either of you have another woman involved in your relationship? Like, and I
That's
don't
a
mean,
negative
I don't-
ghostwriter.
Come
We're
on,
not
you ain't
going
let me
there.
finish. I don't mean just for sex. I mean, she lives there. She pays bills. She does laundry. She loves the both of
We're a
you.
family.
Thank you. So, could you see yourself?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And what's your problem?
Jealousy.
We're not saying we're getting
is your
sexually
problem?
involved, right? We're not
My problem
sexually
is
involved, right?
jealousy. I would kill a bitch.
I mean, that's a different topic, but
Why? Because you want me to be okay with him being.
but if
turned
you're
on by
okay with
somebody
it, then
else.
it shouldn't be a problem. If
No.
everyone is agreeing on it,
Yeah.
it'd be a problem.
So you couldn't be in
Be
a
a
yeah.
consensus.
So
there
see-
does have to be a consensus.
That's the type of woman that doesn't stay single, right there, because she cooperates.
Are you single?
I am single.
Thank
But she ain't
you.
gonna stay single with that
I
attitude.
choose to be single.
Really?
See, there you go.
What do you mean you
Hold
choose to
on.
be single? I don't agree with that statement. That's
Exactly.
weird. That's like a dude who. That's like somebody saying, "I'm only gonna eat steak. Like I can only eat steak," and then you're stuck in McDonald's and you're
Well,
like,
when
"I
you-
choose not to eat." There's no steak there. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a choice. You have no options that meet what you were.
I'm gonna elaborate on that.
Yeah.
In your world,
Hold on, I want to hear
So for me, I was in relationships that didn't work out. And I started to evaluate myself to see what I was doing wrong, because it can't be the person all the time. So there has to be something that I wasn't bringing to the table. And I realized I didn't love myself. So I can't love somebody else if I don't love me. So I took the time out to have an identity switch so I can get to know me, so I can tap into my femininity side, because I was focusing more on the left hemisphere of my brain and not the right. And the right is where the femininity comes in.
Okay.
And so I wanted to make sure that before I do, my God does bring me my husband, I'm prepared. So we're going to be together forever. I'm learning how to communicate.
How long have you been single?
3 years.
3 years?
So wait, can I ask you a little bit about your upbringing? Were you raised by a mother and father?
I was raised by my grandparents, so I did have 2 parents in the home. My grandfather's a pastor.
Okay.
He's also military. So I grew up the youngest out of my grandparents' grandchildren. I'm the oldest, but my mom had me when she was 16. So I lived with my grandparents for a majority of my life, and I was raised in the church.
So old-fashioned and like
Yes,
traditional.
very traditional. I'm very traditional. But my grandfather also taught me how to be independent. I can do everything by myself, but I also know how to turn that off and be subtle and be submissive as well for when my husband does come along, because my grandmother taught me that.
Very important.
Let's go back to the having another woman in the house to make life easier. No, I want to touch on this. Let me go back to Christina's issue. You'll be jealous if your man is having sex with this woman. Is that what the problem is? Sex?
I don't want to see my man turned on by somebody else.
Yeah, but it's not just her. You're involved too.
No.
You love
No.
you. Okay.
No. No. No.
I mean, have you
Christina's very possessive.
All right,
I am.
Yeah.
You've never loved a
Absolutely.
woman not sexually. You couldn't love a woman
She's
because
territorial. She's like,
I am
most men
territorial.
are territorial when it comes to their women. It's the reason why most men will not share their women. We're
But now
territorial,
you-
and
now
Christina is tapped into that.
Would you
I
bring
am.
another man into your
I was
relationship?
about to ask that. I'm glad you said that. I was
No.
waiting for them to get done.
No, I don't want no man in my
Allow another gentleman
relationship.
to come.
None of these men
men are.
would bring another man. 2 men and 1 woman.
She
No.
asked
Go
me,
ahead,
you were
answer.
asking me.
Yes, go ahead and answer.
Men aren't built that way.
But women
He's
are.
right. Men and women are
Women
different.
can be, because women are softer. They're more about love. We're more.
Motherfucker, we got a lot of cars. We can have 2 men working on all these cars. Who-
Wait,
you want
Crystal,
the
you
oil
talking about
change?
bringing another?
That's what she
I
just
just
She
said
said
men are
reverse the
territorial.
roles. She said reverse the
It will
roles.
never
Yeah.
happen.
Bring in 2 men instead of 2 women.
No.
I
You
mean,
guys
men see.
be
Yeah, but we
as
have.
complacent as
Hold
the
on.
women are
Absolutely
supposed
not.
to
We have
be.
too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too much
It's an
ego.
ego
So
thing,
you
like
guys are an
masculinity.
ego thing.
Yeah.
We're an emotional thing.
I just said though, men are territorial about
You can be
their
emotional
women.
with each other.
What?
Women can be emotional with each other.
We can be
Women
emotional
can.
with anybody around.
Exactly.
What?
Anybody
Yeah.
around. We can
We're
be
emotional beings.
with
We're
Right.
emotional, period.
So, well, there you go. That's why we can't do it.
But
and you
y'all are
guys can.
ego. That's also an ego. Is also an emotion. Your ego, the amount of pride and ego that you contain in your body, is also emotion. Y'all just don't like to call that.
Let me
because
just say, I don't see anything wrong with men having 2 girlfriends.
No, I don't see anything
Or
wrong
I
with
feel
it.
like
either.
that takes a
Okay.
lot of stress off of
There,
everyone.
there are
And
also.
do you have a problem with women having
Yes,
2 boyfriends?
we do. We do have a
Okay,
problem.
but
But
it's
men and it's not the same thing, because men and women are not the same. And let me give you an example as to why men and women are not the same. The reason why a man gets to a certain level where he can have 2 girlfriends is because he's achieved that fucking level. He has worked hard to become this top tier dude, whether it's through finances or whether it's through
exactly.
social status or whether it's through learning advanced game, whatever it is. He has gotten to a level where he can attract multiple women and he has options. Guess what? Women don't have to achieve that fucking level. When they turn 18, they have multiple options and they can have multiple men if they want to. So men have to become, women just are. And when a man becomes a certain caliber of man, guess what? He has the options to do certain things. You know, it's different for men and women because men have to achieve that level. Women just are given that
Can I ask you a question?
opportunity.
what I'm hearing is men and women both have the same
No. I just told you why we're not the same.
Women are just giving it earlier.
Can I ask you a
And guys
question?
are
No, it's like a
jealous.
trust fund,
You
baby.
didn't earn it.
It's like a trust fund, baby, versus a guy who earns his millions. You're
But they all both millions.
Yeah, but you're given your millions at 18, and as men, we have to earn our millions. We have to earn the status that comes with that, right? So it's different. The rules don't apply to men. The same rules don't apply to men and women.
Crystal, may I ask you a question? So let's take it back to how you and your man became an item, a couple. When he courted you, he noticed that you were different from a lot of the other women.
True.
Speaking for myself, I was a very dominant woman. So a man is not going to look for another dominant man or dominant woman to be with. He wants someone softer. So when he saw you, he saw those qualities and those traits in you. So why would you think he would want to date a man when he doesn't even want to date a woman like that?
He's not supposed to date the man.
Well, not date,
Maybe
but I mean-
want to date two men.
But have the man in the
Maybe
household.
he should be submissive.
No.
What are you providing?
And
What are you providing?
compliant. And what's all the other?
Be honest to how we
variables?
came into a
You're right.
relationship.
We're good where we're at.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah.
rather take on a woman than a man. However,
No, that's
I
not
wouldn't.
how-
I wouldn't take on another man.
I didn't.
He's needy
I
enough.
didn't court her. Per
What
se
I'm
into a
saying
relationship.
is that
You didn't?
Now, let me talk.
yes, he did. He courted the fuck out of me for like 3 years. What I'm saying is, my preference would also be bring another woman into our relationship as opposed to a man. However, the fact that that's not an option is slightly offensive. Like, how you gonna tell me that we can bring a woman into our relationship, but we can't bring a man? I don't want two penises to entertain. However, don't tell me that's not an option.
So you don't like the double standard?
Nah,
Okay,
I don't like
okay,
that. I don't
Crystal,
like
Crystal.
that.
If we go out, if
However,
we go
I
out to
would
the
much-
club,
I would
Crystal,
much
if we go out to
prefer
the club
another
on
woman.
a Saturday night, you can get into the club for free, and I gotta pay. There's double standards that benefit women, and
Well, but
women
he
never
paid.
complain about the double standards that benefit them. But as soon as
Men
there's a double
always
standard
complain.
that doesn't benefit women, they're like, guess what? I don't like it. I don't. No, the whole world is double standards. It's
You're
not fair.
right.
Right? The world is
Everything built around just like men get paid more than women
no.
do.
That's a fallacy.
anymore.
That's been disproven.
Not anymore.
The wage gap has
anymore.
been
Very
disproven, and we can go into those
so
statistics at
recent.
some point. But let's not get
Look
into
at the data when that
no.
is. So recent.
There
Before
there are many
humanity
factors that count towards why men tend to make more money than women. It's the types of jobs that we go into. We tend to go into more dangerous
BS.
jobs that pay more.
It's
Also,
BS.
we work longer hours
It's
as
BS.
men. Women take more maternity leave. There are many reasons that the studies show.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah,
Women
go
are
for it.
forced
But
to
give me
take
some
maternity leave. They
statistics.
produce
Don't just
the
say
child.
what's that?
Women have had to change their bodies to produce a human being.
Sure.
So of course maternity leave should be not even an issue.
No, it's what statistically
shouldn't
it
be
goes into why
an issue.
overall women make less money than men.
Because
Men are
of
willing
maternity.
to work
Because
longer
the man
hours.
nuts in a woman.
Sure.
That's not true.
Sure. Men
will
do work longer
create
hours
a
on average.
child
On average, men
together.
do work longer hours than women. Absolutely. Yep.
I can believe that.
No, that's
Sure.
there are a lot of factors. Yes. So overall, on average, a man makes more money than a woman. But there are so many factors that go into it, like maternity leave, like number of hours worked, like jobs, professions. What jobs do we go into? Engineering is overwhelmingly a male-dominated field, and that's a high-paying field. The most high. What are the fields that are female-dominated? Nursing,
Healthcare.
healthcare, anything that involves like
Hospitality.
the social aspect, hospitality, and those are lower paying job fields
But-
on average.
But if you look at it, it's women. That is not an issue. It's in the same job field. Men are paid more
No.
in the same job field.
That's a fallacy.
You're saying as a whole.
It's a fallacy.
No.
The study, so
not.
the whole wage gap comes from the whole. It doesn't it doesn't talk about
No,
engineers,
I'm gonna-
female engineers versus male engineers. Who makes more? Okay.
Males.
So,
Males
so
in the same
are there
job.
any other factors that play into that? Do men work longer hours
No.
in those fields? No, men don't work longer hours. Do men take less time off?
No.
Men take far less time off.
No.
Far less time, and men are willing to work overtime more often than women.
Because they're providers,
Yes.
so they're going to work harder. And it goes back to what he was saying. If the men would just have loved these women wouldn't have to feel like they need so much power to be dominant, because all they're doing is looking for love.
There it is.
And if they would have gotten the love from the man to begin with, this wouldn't be so hard for us.
Right. You find a man who loves you enough, no matter what he makes, you're gonna.
And the first man that should love you is your father. If your father doesn't love you, that's the problem. And then why does your father not love you? Because your father doesn't love God.
That is.
He's never been taught how to love.
So remember yesterday I was talking about how women usually, if they have a problem with their dad or daddy issues, usually carry that into their relationships. They usually find it hard to cooperate, compromise, or get along.
Trust.
Whatever the trust. Okay. I guess on your part, trust.
Trust.
They have daddy issues, and then you get with a woman. When I was saying yesterday, the difference between Lauren and Crystal, she had daddy issues. Crystal just got her daddy issues, but we're already what?
Quite a daddy issue.
She's learning.
We're
them.
having an issue with
What are we?
daddy
6 years in? What? How long?
for
I know?
our relationship?
Yeah.
6 years.
Okay, so, and she treats me. She denies me nothing, but and she'd always talk highly about her dad. Loves her dad to death. Talk great about him. He was the best dad growing up, and treated me like him. And I guess, and I ain't the most handsomest guy out here.
You are handsome, Chris.
Thank you. But I always said to myself, well, what is this chick seeing me? I ain't the prettiest fucking dude out here. Look how beautiful she is.
She
But,
sees your heart,
yeah.
Chris. She sees
But,
your heart, man.
But I'm good with my hands, and her dad was good with her. Her dad was good with his hands
Right
also,
on.
so he could fix shit. So she probably, I'm thinking to myself
There's a
at
lot
times,
related.
okay, she probably is attracted to me more mentally and likes the fact that I can, pull her engine out with a screwdriver and an apple. More so than because we go to the club and these tall, good-looking specimens of men are
That's
looking
all
at
physical,
her.
man. That's
Yeah,
all
it's physical. Yeah, but most women are physical.
Yeah.
No.
Most young women these days, if you were to poll,
young men and women, I would say
True.
we really can't. Young men,
if you were to poll like 1,000 women and ask them what their perfect man would be, they'd all say like 6'3",
Not true.
Okay,
Bullshit.
let's not say all, but I'll
That's
say a
your
good I'll
perspective.
say a
It's
good
a man's
90
perspective.
90% of women are gonna have the same criteria.
Hold on, Chris.
Hold on,
Chris.
I'd like to hear what
Man's
your-
perspective.
90% of women. I polled 1,000 women, right? 900 of them are gonna say, "I want a man who's over 6 feet tall.
No.
I want a man who makes
That's a man's
6 figures,
perspective.
and I want a
You've
man
heard
who's in,
that.
Come on,
No, Chris.
You've
all right,
heard
Chris,
that.
Chris, no, I got something for Christina.
What?
Hold on.
no.
We were.
It's the whole 6'6" thing. 6 feet tall, 6 figures, 6-pack, like being in shape, right?
Okay.
Like the vast majority of women have a specific physical and like socioeconomic type when it comes to men. No woman is gonna say, "Oh, my ideal man, it's fine. He could be 5'5" and overweight and
5'5" though.
make average money."
See? Yo,
But
Chris,
let me say this though. Then but what we truly should be falling in love with is what lasts forever. Because that physical stuff is gonna fleet. Right?
Yes,
It's fleet,
I
it's
agree
not-
with you. That's
So-
what I'm
so
saying.
what-
I don't agree with the
So
physical.
So what lasts forever? What about a human
Connection.
being?
Intimacy, connection.
yeah, but you don't think about that at first.
Yes,
Don't.
Christina.
It's not
Women
what-
do.
it's not what first attracts
Men
you.
do not.
No,
Women
remember
do.
we were in Lit
Men
maybe
do
a
not.
year ago. We were in Lit, and this dude came in. He looked like a fucking superhero. I swear. And I know you remember this dude.
Okay.
Right? This
Okay.
dude was like 6'4", fucking muscles bursting out everywhere.
She was all.
And she was like, oh my God, look at
my
that. Look at that specimen of a man over there. And I looked and I was like, God damn, that is a specimen of a man.
Right?
Like, fuck. This dude, and he was in VIP, so
Yes, I remember.
and she was salivating over this dude.
I was.
Yeah.
I was almost salivating over this dude. I'm like, damn, this dude got his shit together. And that he was the ideal
Yes.
Right.
Chris,
Yeah.
you're
And
funny,
that every
dude.
woman,
Fine.
yo, for real.
You're a funny guy, bro.
He was fine.
Swagger also plays a part into
So
it. too.
fine.
Like
He
your,
was.
Your,
Look
Yo.
at her.
What?
She still
presence,
remember. She's
'cause
still thinking
I
about it.
remember.
I remember.
I
I
remember.
was with him.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah,
I
they were both
remember.
Salivating over
Yeah,
this.
we were. He was quite fine. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
There it is, right?
Meanwhile, the chick laying behind the dumpster with a banana on top of her head, I'd fuck.
Right,
any day of the
exactly.
week.
We
Yeah,
have
I'll take it. I'll take it. She's good
as
to go.
men, we have lower.
Yeah.
We have fewer standards. I'm
Let
not
me
gonna say
brush
we
that
have
tr-
lower.
Let me brush that trash off of her.
Right.
Let me brush this trash off of her real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this shit.
Oh,
But
my
if we were to
goodness.
list out our standards
Yeah,
as men, there's gonna be
Banana
fewer.
peel off of her real quick.
There's gonna be fewer lines of standards as men. Whereas a woman, if you were to list out all her standards, he's got to be caring, he's got to be sensitive, but he's also got to be masculine. He's got to be this height. He's got to make this amount of money.
Well-
He's got to love to do this. He's got to want to travel. He's got to love my family. He's got to be like. They can list out 30 things that a man should have easily at the drop of a fucking hat. But as a guy, we're like, oh, is she attractive? Is she sweet? Is she friendly? Is she nice? We're done. Perfect.
So that's
Thank you.
your
Well, that-
fuckable checklist.
Okay.
There's a difference in a fuckable checklist
Great point.
and a wifeable checklist.
Yep.
Great point.
Women are always, okay, I can't say all women. Most of us are always giving you the whole husband checklist. Is he this? Is he that? Is he this? Because that's what we want in a full potential partner.
This is a great point.
Your list is she fuckable?
Yeah.
Because that's the fuckable checklist. What's your wife checklist?
Listen,
What's
the
that
wife
look like?
checklist might have 2 extra lines. Does-
extra?
Yeah, it might be like,
well, hold on,
does she
hold
make my life easier and does she not nag me? And then we go, I'm marrying her, right?
Your what? 3 F's? Fit,
Friendly
friendly,
and feminine.
and feminine.
Yeah,
Now you
that's
say
Kevin.
them,
Shout out to Kevin Samuels, by the way.
And I know.
Mm-hmm.
And you summarize them as 3 points, but fit means blah blah blah. Feminine means blah blah blah. Because feminine doesn't just mean dress nice.
No, absolutely
Now
not.
feminine also
Shave your
means
fucking
dress
armpits.
nice, look nice, be the woman, take
Submit.
care of the house, submit,
No,
clean. Are you kidding me?
femininity is
What's your
not a
definition of
femininity is not a it's not a physical. It's not a physical thing. It's a personality thing. It's ingrained in you. Like, so I had this conversation
So
with
define feminine.
so my buddy Tom is married right now
Right.
to a great girl, Kelsey, great girl,
I know,
and
I know that.
her sister, her sister, they have different personalities. And Kelsey and I were having a conversation just recently, and I was like, Kelsey, you are definitely the feminine sister in your family. She was like, no one's ever called me feminine before, because Amber is the one who's always spending an hour in the bathroom doing her makeup, making sure her hair is perfect and getting dressed. And I told her, that's not femininity. That's no more feminine than a dude who spends 3 hours in the gym being the most masculine dude. That's not, because the most masculine guy I know, my buddy Tom, doesn't go to the fucking gym, but he will build goddamn. You see those barn doors in my living room? He built those from fucking scratch in his garage. He got the wood, he got the paint, he got the glue. He fucking built those fucking barn doors. That's a masculine dude, and he doesn't go to the fucking gym. So that's a surface level thing. If you think doing things like doing your hair, doing your nails, your makeup makes you feminine, absolutely fucking not. That's the opposite. That's actually a more masculine thing. That's you trying to fucking assert yourself in a certain way. That's you trying to project yourself in a different. That's not femininity. Femininity is ingrained. It's your own personal ability to be that submissive woman and allow a man to lead when he needs to fucking lead, which is pretty much all the fucking time. Men need to lead. We need to be able
Yeah,
to
but
lead.
we need to be leading right.
But yes, not all men. I'm not saying all men are leaders.
Yeah.
But
And I think they're on to us. They're like, man, you ain't leading me right.
right.
You know?
Right. So as a woman, as a feminine woman, you also need to be discerning to figure out which
Damn.
men are fucking
Discernment.
leaders.
I like that.
Your discernment, right?
Yeah.
Feminine women don't get knocked up by dudes who already have 10 baby mamas, okay? That's not a feminine woman. That's a fucking non-discerning, non-feminine, whatever. I'm not gonna go there.
Fuck
But
anybody. at that
exactly. So femininity is not a surface level thing. It's ingrained in your ability to not only discern and find the most, the most masculine and the man that's capable of leading, that's a big factor in it too. Can you find that man? Can you find that
He's
leader?
not around right now. They're extinct right now.
They're not.
Dating
We're not,
sucks.
lady. We're not extinct. Okay, we're
sucks
we're
right now.
around. We're around.
This weed shit.
does
What are you
suck.
talking? You got a mouse in your pocket?
What are you talking about? I'm saying you're a masculine man. She's saying
If
the
I
masculine
would've
men, the
dated,
leaders are not
gotten
around. I'm saying
hitched
we
about
are
5
around.
years ago.
Yeah.
No, I say about 7 years ago now. Dating was a lot different compared to now. People are hermit crabs. People
Okay.
don't know how to express themselves. COVID has sheltered a lot of people to where people are not sociable anymore. This right here has taken over our lives.
That's been going on.
Yeah.
I don't think
before
that's COVID related. I think if
been going
COVID
on.
even didn't,
But COVID made it worse
It
because
amplified
now
it.
we got quarantine.
Yeah.
We're not
Stuck
talking
in it
right. So
more.
we're not communicating. So when we do go out, people don't know how to speak to people
You're
anymore.
right.
And I'm Southern. I speak to people all the time. I'm not from New York or from upstate where they're rude. I hug, I speak, and the people just walk right past you. They don't have any type of courtesy or anything anymore. And it's like, really, what's going on? What is our world like right now?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.